so shocked. So shocked.
Most expensive TV show ever made.
In cooperation with Party City.
Dude, where's my Numenor?
Dude.
Oh my god.
Sweet.
Nerdrotic.com.
This is a frivolous lawsuit. It's bullshit, but it's funny. This is some funny shit because what they're insinuating here is that Rings of Power is not just fan fiction. It's stolen fan fiction, which just makes me happy. Lord of the Rings fan fiction writer suing Tolkien estate and Amazon for copyright infringement. I'm surprised he isn't getting sued. He wrote 7 books, one called Fellowship of the King, that he says is all based off of Tolkien.
He said like inspired by, but no, it's like with the characters and like it's in the world. Like it'd be fine to write that. You could write that and put it on Tumblr or whatever. But he made these books and like posted them. He's selling them ironically on Amazon.
How do you sue the Tolkien estate? You're using their IP.
Yeah, because he's saying that he wrote this entire thing and pitched it to the Tolkien estate, and that when they didn't respond to his messages, he actually physically went there and handed them a copy, and that a couple of years later, all of his ideas popped up in Rings of Power.
This writer's admitting that he's shit then.
No shit. But that's the thing I took away from it. I'm like, you want to be identified with this show?
Wow. Everything about this is funny, but he got a copyright. In 2017, it says it right there. So
he did say that, and he also claims that the copy of his works that he handed to Simon Tolkien it had a little C with a circle on it. So that means it was copyrighted.
Did he draw the C on there? Yeah.
Wow. Did he? Is that literally the original work? Do not steal. Is that literally what we just witnessed here?
I think so.
Oh God!
Wow.
Technically, any work that any person makes has copyright on it inherently and legally. The registration is more of just a record process.
Well, you have to have a record of when you did it. Like the poor man's copyright used to be like you mailed it to yourself. So it's post-stamped. It's weird, but no, it doesn't fly like that. You can't put a little C and draw a little circle around it in crayon and say, I copyrighted it.
I copyrighted it.
Lord of the Rings fan fiction writer is suing the Tolkien estate and Rings of Power creator, Amazon, for copyright infringement on his novel, The Fellowship of the King, as reported by PC Gamer. Oh, bastion of journalism. Demetrius, what's his name? Demetrius
Polychron.
I've
seen the Greeks invent everything.
I've been kicked out of 3 high schools, and I never made it to Greek anything. I barely made it past English. Fuck off. Polychron claims his work, which was registered with the U.S. Copyright Office in 2017 and published in September 2022. It was it really? It was just last year, so it was published right when Rings of Power came out.
Yeah.
Is inspired by The Lord of the Rings and J.R.R. Tolkien, but it is a wholly original work and concept.
Sure.
The lawsuit claims that the Rings of Power show infringes on his copyright, and Polychron is seeking $250 million as a result.
Wow.
Bad news, guys. It's not on Amazon anymore. Can't
Oh,
buy it.
no.
See, it was there a couple days ago.
It was.
What we have
And there was
lost.
only 10 reviews. I think the top review said you're going to get sued. There was one 5-star review from the author himself.
Okay, unbiased, of course.
My book is awesome. 5 stars. Razorfist, you should do that.
Right? Make it so.
Polychron also claims to have attempted several times to work with the Tolkien estate professionally after filing the trademark. He sent a letter to J.R.R. Tolkien grandson and Tolkien estate director Simon Tolkien, famously the one who wanted Sauron to be Walter White, to be like Walter White. That came from Simon. The lawsuit points out similarities, such as one of Polychron's characters being called Eleanor.
Eleanor?
Yeah, because one of the not hobbits, because they can't use the word hobbit. They keep saying Harfoot, but it's an intellectual property thing. which is the same name as one of the Rings of Power characters. However, it should be. I like how they didn't even bother to go. It's the same name as Eleanor Nori Brandyfoot because they didn't give a shit. However, it should be noted that this is also the name of one of J.R.R. Tolkien's own characters, one of Sam's daughters.
Now, the book is no longer on Amazon to purchase. Now, this is sad. But the first chapter is on Google Books.
Uh-oh.
And we could read it right now.
Oh, are you sure
How
we
long
won't get
is it?
sued?
Oh man, this guy does read a lot of Tolkien. He goes on for like a paragraph there just about the flowers.
Yeah.
I don't think there's a punctuation in this entire thing.
He literally mentions bag end in the first
Wait, this is
paragraph.
McCarthy.
But it's a separated world. It's a wholly original work, and it's already got bag end in the
He talks about Sam in it. Look,
He does.
right there.
Late afternoon sunshine flooded the meadows of the hill with a pleasant glow. Bright blossoms, snapdragons, sunflowers, and Nostradamus. What the fuck? Nasturtiums filled the open. What the fuck is a nasturtium?
I
It's
don't
a
know.
fucking
Now I
flower,
gotta-
you
now I gotta
bellend.
Google
I
it.
thought you're a Tolkien scholar. You don't know this?
You don't know what the nasturtiums?
Fake
Come on.
Tolkien fan.
There's a letter.
They're orangey.
There was a letter about him.
The only thing I knew how to grow was pot. Okay.
I love that he's using, like, I love
420.
he's using like technical names for the flowers. Like he just got done reading Martha Stewart Living or something.
Honestly, though, this
Let-
opening
Already.
paragraph is the type of thing that a literary agent would reject just on the first paragraph. It's redundant and it's got overuse. It's like he wouldn't even get past the first test in trying to get it actually published. This is not the best quality. Just saying it. Like, go listen to an audiobook of like the Hobbit, and I've done that recently. Right, it is such a pleasantly well written book, and it's just such a fun read. It holds up. Tolkien was he knew how to work with his words.
My favorite thing about Tolkien is he'll spend like 3 pages describing a dewy meadow, and then they'll get in a brutal conflict, and they'll be like, "They killed 2 orcs." Next.
Well, there's that, and then there's George R. Martin, Tyrion,
Oh God.
going on and on and on about
Oh,
where do
the
whores
worst
go?
one is
Where do whores go?
Andrei Sapkowski, the Witcher. where
Yeah,
he's like,
dude.
and then he did a pirouette into a side swipe that immediately turned into. He
all
moved
technical.
into a fencer's stance. Like, I don't think we need the play-by-play.
Dude,
asshole. I think
I like those books and I read those books, but it reads like a guy who's never really been with any women, but really wants to badly.
Yeah. It's like 2 paragraphs describing the cleavage.
Feels like bags of sand.
But they were squishy,
Wow.
but not too squishy. It was amazing.
To compare that guy's writing to Tolkien himself, this is leather-bound vintage version of The Hobbit right here. It's very nice stuff. But like, he spent a whole paragraph just trying to describe the front door of the Hobbit hole. Tolkien, he gets right to the point. In a hole in the ground, there lived a hobbit. Not a nasty, dirty, wet hole filled with the ends of worms or an oozy smell. Not yet a dry, bare, sandy hole with nothing. But he's describing, but already, because he starts off, there's something in the ground and something is living in it. Hobbit, we're interested. We want to know what it is. It creates a gap of information. And suddenly we are interested in knowing what the Hobbit is like. And he has just a pleasant way of describing it, right? It just shows the quality of writing that does exist. And another great example is honestly Pride and Prejudice. It's an info dump, but it starts with such a great use of language. Anyway.
Another
if you
good
want
one
to-
is if you've read Watership Down.
Yeah.
Similar in that style. Speaking of which, I'm going to show off my leather-bound little Lord
Oh,
of the Rings.
yes.
Nice.
Show it off, baby. Show
With
the
the metal edges.
Showing all our
Look
leather.
at
That's
Ooh,
the way.
That's awesome.
Oh, wow. Oh, it
It's got
has
a
a
little
clasp
clasp
too.
on
That's
there.
cool.
Mm.
Oh, and I like that it has the corner thing.
Yeah, I dig it. I actually
awesome.
bought. Yeah, I bought that separately. Actually, put it on the book. It's pretty cool.
Let's do that. We got the Silmarillion, the Hobbit, and the Lord of
Dude.
the Rings trilogy. Vintage
Nice.
leather right here.
Holy shit.
Ooh.
Do you have the vintage leather
that,
gold leaf with actual gold in it?
Doesn't have gold leaf, but these are old
I got
prints.
that one.
Like if I look at the print on these,
I love gold.
I have celebrity poops.
Hey, by Chris Gore.
Wow.
Very.
By the great
Celebrities,
author Chris
very- the
Gore. What,
vintage.
Chris is
I
in
love-
the
I love-
Chris is in the chat. You know he's in the chat.
So,
He's always watching.
These editions were printed in 1981, before I was born. Older than me.
Wow, that's so old. That is so old. 1981.
And shit in my fridge older than that.
I was 11 in 1981.
Yeah, I think the box of Arm & Hammer baking soda in my cabinet is actually older than that.
Nerdrotic.com. Please subscribe.
Hey, if you like what we do here at Nerdrotic Daily, please like, share, and subscribe. And if you could do that with your favorite YouTuber as well, I'm sure they would appreciate it as much as I do.